What's going on, guys? Vic back again. We're still talking about the Gamecase LITE edition. On this one, we're going to load up the laptop, start up Hyperspin, and learn how to navigate and all that. Before I start this webisode, big shout out to Scott from Texas. This is actually his laptop, his Xbox controllers. We are using his stuff to show you guys how this thing works. Scott, I really appreciate you buying this thing. Please message me if anything, but be sure to watch the videos. I guarantee I'll answer anything that happens. Thanks again for supporting me, buddy. So on this one, I kind of don't really want to even cut the camera at all, just to go through from the start to the end of this. So once you get your laptop, you could plug it in. The battery should be fully charged when you get it, but you could keep it plugged in. You could have it unplugged, whatever you want. Your top right, you press the power button. Your two LEDs will turn on right here, and your Acer logo does pop up. Again, I'm kind of trying to not cut at all, just so you can kind of see how long it takes to load up and all that. Now, there is something that I do notice for some reason, that the laptop does something. I don't know why. It's actually doing it right now, which is a good thing that I want to show you. On these laptops, I have to disable Windows Defender. It's a virus protector. It makes the computer go crazy. As you can see right now, for some reason, when the laptop is plugged in to an actual power brick and you put on the power, the screen stays black. This is perfect. I really like this because there's literally no cuts. I'm not cutting this at all. Not sure why it does this. Essentially, what you do, if you do get this state right here, you simply just hold down the power button. It will turn off, but you're gonna see it's like I put it into sleep mode, because once I see the blue light, now I have one light, as you can see. One blue light. When it's two blue light, it means it's powered on. One blue light means that the battery's on. Now watch, if I press the power button one time, it turns on. I'm not 100% sure why. From the research of it, it looks like it's a Windows Defender issue, but no stress. If it does happen, there you go. Hold down the power button, turn it off, press it again, and now you're back. We're gonna press enter. You're on the main menu right now. Very simple, very basic. Now the best thing to do, turn on the laptop, and then you'll do the procedure of plugging in your Xbox 360 controller. Difficult to hold a heavy camera while doing this in one take. So again, we right now are gonna take this USB. I usually plug it in on the right side. Again, I'm not sure how far into the future when you look at it, it might be a different laptop, but essentially the USB shouldn't really matter on whichever side you pick or whichever one you want. So we are gonna plug this in, just like so. Again, I'm gonna try not to cut at all. You plug it in, your connector turns green. You got your two Xbox controllers here. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on one, hold it down, and there you go. You can see player one. You don't have to do player two right away. You could do it midway, but for right now we could do one. I'll put on the second one. As you can see, it's gonna go to player two, and we are set. There you go. Got player one, player two. The receiver is plugged in. So now again, you're gonna plug in your Xbox controller, turn on the controller itself, and then we're gonna load up Hyperspin. Okay, Hyperspin, the way I always do it, just like I said in the other ones, you tap on it and then you press the enter key. That is the easiest way to make sure you clicked it and all that. As you can see, give it a second, it's gonna load up, and now we are into Hyperspin. So this is a big thing. The Xbox 360 controllers are very sensitive. There's no setting to change it. There's just no setting to change the sensitivity as far as the thumbstick on this. So when you are doing the main menu, I highly suggest that you use the D-pad to navigate. Use the D-pad. Trust me when I say use the D-pad, because if you use the thumbstick, it will go out of whack. It might not even stop. It'll just keep going. You have to. It's very sensitive. So keep that in mind. When you're doing the navigation, use the D-pad. Now I actually want to restart and redo something. I want to show you something. Main thing to keep in mind, okay? Something to notice that once you load up Hyperspin, you're going to see the player buttons blink. Wait until the blinking finishes and then you start moving your D-pad. So again, I'm going to go right now to Hyperspin and we're going to press enter, and I'm going to keep my eye on the controller just so you can see it. See that? It's blinking. Wait until it's done blinking and then go about and use the D-pad. If you try to use the D-pad right away while it's blinking, it's not going to connect. For some reason, it won't connect. So remember, wait until it stops blinking and then you can navigate. Okay? Essentially, your Xbox button is actually your escape button. On a couple of, only one actually, MAM Arcade, the Xbox button will not escape the game. I'm going to go in depth. Don't worry. Don't be scared. But again, once you load up Hyperspin, let the light blink and then you're set and all good to go. So again, we're going to start. We're going to press on Hyperspin. Make sure you get that square on Hyperspin. Then I'm going to press enter. Again, keep your eye on your controller. Make sure you wait for that green light to blink. And then you're ready to navigate. See that? We're going to start with the basics. Let's do the arcade. So we'll jump on that. It's going to be difficult to do this with one hand, but I'll do it. Let's do Street Fighter. That's usually the best way to do it. So I'm going to skip a letter. Check out my past videos to see how you could quickly navigate Hyperspin as far as going from the letter A to the letter S and all that. We're going to do Street Fighter. I always love Street Fighter. As you can see, there's many versions. We're going to do... Notice real quick, again, you're going to see a bunch of different versions of Street Fighter only because that's how ROMs work. You need this version to make the regular US version work. So if you do see like the title right here, you can see this is the world version, whereas the one before it's Australia bootleg. It's not really a difference, but as far as high scores, you want to make sure you're using the same one. Now again, get very used to clicking your A button, which selects everything, one time. Only click it once. I can't stress it enough to only click that one time. I hit the right arrow. I hit the right on the D-pad by accident. As you can see, I skipped. So again, I can't stress it enough. Only press this button one time. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to press it once. And as you can see, you might be saying, oh my God, I didn't press it. No, you did press it. Get in the habit. Only press it once. You got to let it load. Get in the habit, please. I get this a lot. Get used to pressing this one time. Only one time. If you press it 3 times, you're going to load up 3 different Street Fighters. Literally the same game 3 times, 3 windows. Again, get into the habit of pressing that one time. Okay? I'm going to be posting the controller layouts, but essentially your back button is your coin, and your start is your start, obviously. As you can see, I have this program to read the D-pad. This won't read the sticks, it will read the D-pad. Let's pick Ryu. I'm going to be posting like the controller layouts just so you can see it, but again, we're playing MAM Arcade. This is your coin button, your start. Basically, I have this set again. It'll read off the D-pad. My hand's not big enough for this, but it's reading the D-pad. A is button 1, B is button 2, X is button 3, Y is button 4, and your L1 and your R1 is button 5 and 6. Okay? Now again, same thing. If you see here, you got player 2. I'm going to insert the coin. I'm going to press start. I lost. That's why it's taking a second. You're going to see it's going to bring me to player 2. There you go. Player 2 is in now. I can select that. And we're ready to go. Okay? Now again, keep in mind what I said before. Your Xbox button normally should escape, exit out of the game, bring you back to Hyperspin. On MAM Arcade, it's not set like that. It won't work. As you see, when I hold it down, it will not work. So for you to exit MAM, you press escape on the keyboard. Now this is something that I noticed. Once I press escape on the keyboard, check out your Xbox controller. It looks like this is a Windows thing, but watch. It's gonna blink, and there you go. Right now, again, I'm trying not to skip, trying to edit, but as you can see now, I'm able to navigate and jump. A couple of people tell me sometimes when this happens, when you exit, nothing works. Like you can't touch anything. The only reason that is possibly if you ever run into that where it doesn't work, and I'm going to try to show you. If it ever works, it means that one of the sticks here is sticking. Again, these are very sensitive. I can't do anything. As you can see, the joystick will load it up later. It's very sensitive. Basically, it's showing that like somebody's holding down a button or a stick, if you think about it, on that. Let's see. See, like right now, I can't select. because it's figuring that there's like somebody holding down the stick. Again, that's why I try to refrain from using the sticks. If you ever do run into that hiccup, the best thing I say is to just kind of spin the stick. Even player 2, it will try to read player 2. Your player 2 stick might skip and stick a little bit is the best way to say it. Again, if you ever run into that, just trying to fiddle with the sticks and all that, okay? Again, as far as exiting, let's say you don't want to play MAM Arcade, you want to go into Super Nintendo, you hold down your button. Now here's what I did, I just messed up actually. I tapped the button. You have to hold down the button. This is perfect. Again, I'm trying not to cut, but I tapped the button. When you tap the button, you get this battery indicator. Again, this is a Windows thing. There's nothing I can do about it. But essentially, if you do that, if you tap it, you're going to get it where the screen freezes. As you can see right now, the screen froze. It goes away after a couple of seconds, but if you want, you just kind of just click on the mouse pad and it'll bring you back to normal. Everything will work. Get into the habit again of holding down the button. Here we go. This is the correct way. Again, do not tap it, hold it. It'll never bring up your battery indicator. That's a Windows thing. It's not a hyperspin thing. It's just a Windows thing. Here's something that I just actually literally just noticed, okay? I just noticed this. I don't know why, but keep this in mind. Check out the receiver, the wireless receiver. You don't want to be too close to it because it sometimes won't register it. You might be too close to it. I just realized, look, see, I'm right now pushing down. I'm too close to it though. As you can see, don't be too close to the receiver. It has a long cord on it. I just literally noticed this. Maybe that was a couple of reasons why when you go up and down, but I literally just figured that out. Now let's look into shutting it down. Basically, you're going to hold down your Xbox controller button. Would you like to exit? You could do yes or no. Obviously, you're going to do yes. We're going to exit it. You're back to your main menu. Basically, your controllers are useless here. You take your mouse. You go down to the bottom left. You press the Windows tab. You go to power. And you press shut down. Before you do that, I do suggest that you do actually unplug the Xbox receiver. You don't have to, but I do suggest it. Again, power and shutdown. As far as the Xbox 360 controllers, as you can see right now, the receiver is unplugged. They're just blinking. I do have a very big habit of just simply pulling the battery out, only because I've seen these things blink for like 5 minutes. I suggest that you do just kind of pull the battery out, close the compartment, and call it a day. So there you have it. On this webisode right here, we went through some, I want to say, must-knows. This is something that you have to know before you even start loading it, because as you can see, there is a couple of hiccups with the Xbox 360 controller. It's not a programming thing, it's just a controller thing, but it's ways to get around it, nothing to be scared about and all that. So what did we learn? Make sure when you're loading a game, you're going to press that button one time. Do not press it more than one. Give it a minute, I guarantee you it will load up. Only press that button once. I can't stress it enough. Also, we learned if you ever exit hyperspin to close out the joy to key. We also learned to make sure you keep your eye on your battery light indicators, your controller lights I should say. Make sure that they are done flashing, and then you could start using the controller. And again, hold down that Xbox button to exit out. On the next one, we're going to check out the other systems like Super Nintendo and all that. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.